What's up, guys? Welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking play. Before I start anything, I just want to say thank you for all of the well wishes. Thank you for all of the birthday wishes for my son Van Jr., for my wife, and for my youngest daughter, whose birthday is next week. Also, I want to say thank you so much for the well wishes for my daughter's wedding. She's about to get married, and we are super excited, and things have been real crazy around the Hall household lately. So we are back at it. Hopefully you enjoy this content that I'm giving you today. I have Larry Elder. I guess he's answering the question. He knows what's going out there in the streets. And I guess people are saying that Trump was racist to black people. So he's doing a video dedicated to just that. He want to ask the question, how racist is Trump towards black people? So we're going to go and check this out, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments later on. And try to hang on to the end so we can have a good conversation, all right? All right, let's go.
It is beyond dispute, right? Water's wet, sky is blue. Donald Trump is a card-carrying, bona fide racist, right?
Look at his face, right?
The United States is a racist. His own words leave absolutely no doubt about that. What he is saying is not racially charged. It is flat out racist.
And this, of course, makes...
And before Larry Elder go on, I just want to say this real quick. I need for y'all to understand something. As a black person who watches CNN and MSNBC often, and you see Don Lemon on the news saying this, and then you see a friend of yours, ding, 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 a family member of yours saying positive things about Trump. Imagine how that can go. I'm just saying, imagine how that can go. It's not that fun. I'm sure a lot of y'all have faced that type of thing too.
Makes his supporters racist, right?
But for people who look like me, other minorities, women who have been, well, let's just leave this to race. This president has said and done so many insensitive and bigoted and racist things that if you support him, people like me want to understand why you ignored so much.
You know, to just be grossly generalistic, you could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
I remember that. Man, y'all was pissed about that. I remember I used to see y'all on TV all the time, pissed about the basket of deplorables. I didn't even know what it meant. But y'all, man, y'all made sure that she never forgot about that right there. Yeah, I still don't know what the daggone meant, but it became a thing. It became a thing, and she labeled every single person and then wanted their votes. You're going to call everybody a basket of deplorable. And then you ask, but I still want your vote. So make sure you come out and vote for me. You know, I'm going to be waiting for it in my woman suit.
Right? The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
But black unemployment, historical lows.
I think the economy is doing absolutely great, and it's particularly reaching into populations that heretofore have had very bad problems in terms of jobs, employment, and the opportunities that come with full employment. So African-American unemployment is at its lowest level. I give President Trump, and I've said this before on Squawk Box, I give President a lot of credit for moving the economy in a positive direction that's benefiting a large number of Americans.
Yeah, but he's still a racist.
The problem here is that the president has unfortunately used language in the past that we will have a lot of difficulty in erasing, even with an eraser with the words unemployment drop. Because of some harsh and painful words are just kind of hanging out here across the country as it relates to African Americans and some other minorities.
And what about the First Step Act? That's a law that allows prisoners who believe they have unfairly long sentences to have their sentences reviewed. And since President Trump signed that act, 1,000 people have benefited 90% have been black men. They've had their sentences reduced an average of almost 70 months.
Yo. They had their sentences reduced on average by 70 months. 70. Carry the file. I don't know how much that is in years. What's that, like 6.5 years? Something like that? I don't know. But at the end of the day, I want to know. I want to daggone know. Also, what I want to know is, what are the things I should not forgive him for? If you are watching this and you're one of the people that's like, brother, I don't get it. I don't get it, brother. He said this and that and that. Tell me, because you know I don't pay attention to anything that doesn't positively affect my family. You know how I am. I don't spend a whole bunch of time dwelling on BS that have nothing to do with my family. If it has something to do with my family, I pay attention to it. If it's politics, I look at that as sometimes as the game that I believe it is. I believe that, honestly, I believe it is. But hey, y'all tell me what y'all want me to know.
They've had their sentences reduced an average of almost 70 months.
The Senate tonight taking bipartisan action on something substantial, overwhelmingly passing a major prison reform bill. The First Step Act eases federal sentencing for nonviolent offenders, aims to reduce repeat offending, and expands early release programs.
Did he say bipartisan?
Mr. President, thank you so much. It's almost hard for me to speak about this without being emotional. In the process of this has brought together friendships that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. I'm now texting buddies with Van Jones.
And speaking of Van White Lash Jones.
How significant do you think this is? By the way, one of your partners in working on this was Jared Kushner.
Jared Kushner, whose father went to prison and who fought on this as hard as that. This is history. This is history. Right now, you're witnessing history on the floor of the U.S. Senate. It is a Christmas miracle underway where, for the first
man said a Christmas miracle.
Republicans and Democrats are arm in arm tonight saying, we are sending too many people to prison. They're coming out bitter and not better. We want to make a tremendous difference. I want to say Hakeem Jeffries on the left, Jared Kushner, and Donald Trump on the right have brought together a coalition like I've never seen.
And what about Trump?
Wow. Wow. And he said it without stuttering once. That's big, man. That is big.
Donald Trump on the right have brought together a coalition like I've never seen.
And what about Trump's Music Modernization Act? Something that, again, President Obama didn't even do.
President Donald Trump today moved the music industry into the 21st century. He signed the Music Modernization Act, legalizing the landmark copyright reform.
That's the American badass.
To ensure songwriters receive pay for the products that they produce when you're listening to them on streaming services. Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander championed that new law. He says the Music Modernization Act is the most important law in a generation to help make sure that our songwriters and singers all over America keep working and making a decent living by ensuring they're paid when their songs are played.
This is a great day for songwriters.
It is.
And artists.
And artists, okay.
Yeah. How in the world is it all the time that the artists who used to be his friends all seem to be the first in line to bash him, to say that he's a bad dude and don't vote for him and this? What are they beefing with? He just now looked out for y'all. He looking out for your families. He's looking out for your pockets, your bottom line, all that. And you still got nothing but trash to talk, bro.
And then there's President Trump's support for school choice.
The time has come to pass school choice for Americans' children.
This is usually the part that I hate, when they're clapping and clapping and clapping and standing up, and all you see is the people who are the ones who are on that side standing up and giving. It's so damn fake. The people that's sitting down clearly are benefiting from it. They know it's a positive thing, but they're like, we're not going to give you the satisfaction of standing up and giving you an applause for a good job, simply because we don't rock with you like that.
So on the campaign trail, Trump didn't talk much about K-12 policy, but when he did, he talked about school choice. And Betsy DeVos is a longtime school choice advocate.
Well, I believe that that parents are the primary educator for their child or their children. And we have, to a large extent, removed a lot of that ability to direct and control by forcing way too many.
She was the one sitting down.
To assigned schools based on where they live.
Now, choice in education is something that blacks and browns want. Guess who doesn't want it? White Dems, who would never put their own kids in an urban school in a million years.
Now, the proposal that I brought forth on education ends all private charter schools in this country.
If I'm president, Betsy DeVos's whole notion from charter schools to this are gone.
We gonna have the same choice that you make for your kids, because I read that your children went to private school.
No, my children went to public school.
But we even if it was public school, it probably was the best public school. I can't pack up and say I'm leaving Hyde Park and going to Germantown. That's our suburban area, because I can't afford it. My daughter can't afford it.
I understand.
So we want to make what we got great, whether it's charter or traditional. And really, public schools are charter in where I come from, and we make parents know that.
Yeah, the charter are the good ones.
Are public schools too.
Yeah, those are the good ones.
Read it, please. And I promise you, the next time you see me, if it's reading the way it's going to benefit our children.
I'm not making a promise, then go back and read it.
Go read it, but just read it.
That's okay.
But it turns out that Senator Warren had a son in a private school from the 5th grade on.
Be ashamed of yourself, Elizabeth Warren. Be ashamed of yourself.
Let's move on. What about illegal immigration? And what does that have to do with blacks?
Now we must implement an immigration system that will allow our citizens to prosper for generations to come. Today we are presenting a clear contrast. Democrats are proposing open borders, lower wages, and frankly, lawless chaos. We are proposing an immigration plan that puts the jobs, wages, and safety of American workers first.
A steady stream of people showing up at the building behind me. We're told 150 applicants in the first 3 hours of this job fair, with about 30 minutes left to go. Cook Foods has not said how many people they're looking to hire, but the folks that we spoke with said they're definitely ready to go to work. Cook is just one of several chicken processing companies to get raided by ICE agents last week, with 680 workers detained for possible immigration violations.
Peter Kirsanow is a friend I've known some 40 years. He's a longtime member of the U.S. Civil Rights Commission.
Professor Briggs testified before the Civil Rights Commission. We had a whole host of people testifying before the Civil Rights Commission. The one cohort, the one demographic in the United States of America most harmed, most palpably harmed by illegal immigration are black Americans. And politicians, open borders politicians know this. They know this because there have been numerous hearings before Congress on this. I've testified in a number of these hearings. George Borjas has testified in a number of these hearings. Stephen Camarada has testified, and we've presented all of this evidence, all of this data, that the pernicious effect of illegal immigration, of open borders, has had on black Americans in terms of employment. Nearly 1 million fewer blacks work today because of the competition from illegal immigration than otherwise would be the case if we had a secure border. And it also depresses wage rates by a tune of $1,800 a year. George Borjas estimates that the depressive effects of illegal immigration on wages is anywhere from $99 billion to $118 billion annually, cumulatively, but it has the most significant effect on the black community.
And did I mention Trump's expansion of so-called enterprise zones that will benefit the inner city?
It's a big day.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. In a few moments, I will sign an executive order launching a new White House opportunity. This is a very big thing that Tim and I and everybody have been working on for a long time. And Revitalization Council. This council will coordinate efforts across the entire federal government to deliver jobs, investment, and growth to the communities that need it the most.
And then there's the commutation.
Yo. Yo, hey, all I want to do is, all I want to say is, listen, if you have an issue with rhetoric that comes from the right, or if you have an issue with Trump, period, I would advise that you watch some of these videos, or if you know someone who has issues with Trump, I ask you, all of you, to share this in places where you don't believe, or where you believe they got a hard on for Trump. You know what I mean? Because stuff like this, I never heard of it. Never. I never heard of it. So this is very important that other people who feel this type of way, that they hear these things, man, and they see these images right now. Because at first, we was taught that people were being propped up in front of him for votes. But this dude is actually putting actual laws in place, man. Come on, bruh. It's a difference from just bringing people out there and just propping them up around you so that you can look a certain type of way. If you're not trying to pass through any real bills for them, then yeah, you're just scribbling or drawing something on a piece of paper. But if you're passing through actual bills and putting laws in place to look out for people, come on, man. They need to know this. They need to know it. Especially people who know me, they need to know it because they believe the bad
investment and growth to the communities that need it the most.
And then there's the commutation of the sentence of Alice Johnson, given a long sentence for a non-violent drug offense, and the pardoning of Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion who was busted for a crime involving the transportation of a woman across state lines for purposes of sex. It was a BS charge just designed to nail him, and President Trump once again did something Obama did not do, and that is to pardon Jack Johnson.
A great-grandmother gets a second chance at freedom after President Trump commutes her life sentence. Alice Marie Johnson served 21 years for a nonviolent first-time drug charge, but a serious charge of drug trafficking and money laundering. Her story caught the eye of Kim Kardashian West, who made a personal plea for the release to President Trump last week. Johnson shared an emotional reunion with her family after walking out of an Alabama prison yesterday.
They are the folks who had been lobbying for this pardon.
Hey, the Italian Stallion. The Italian Stallion is there. Yeah, that's my guy right there.
For years now, Johnson was the first African-American heavyweight champ. And in what was seen by many as a racial injustice, Johnson was convicted of a crime back in 1913. That crime was transporting a...
That brother looked like he got a lot on his mind. My goodness. My man ain't have to wear no helmet when he rode a bike. My gracious. Brother looked like he 4 months pregnant in the head. My goodness, bruh. God gracious, man. E.T. phone home head ass.
A white woman across state lines. He died in 1946. Senator John McCain, former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid had also been pushing Johnson's case for years. But again, President Trump has posthumously pardoned Jack Johnson.
And did I mention that Trump is up spending on historically black colleges and universities by 14%?
Wow.
Education has the power to uplift. It has the power to transform, and perhaps most important, education has the power to create greater equality and justice in our lives.
Yo, you telling me that he gave more money while he was in office? You're telling me that HBCUs got more money than they got when Barack Obama was in office for 2 terms? All right, is that what you're trying to tell me? Oh my gosh. Come on, man. Share this if you can, man.
That's why today I'm thrilled to be signing an executive order to recognize the importance of historically black college and universities. Very important. They have played such an important role in achieving progress for African Americans and in our nation's march for justice. HBCUs have been really pillars of the African American community for more than 150 years. Amazing job. And a grand and enduring symbol of America at its absolute best, and I congratulate you all to say that.
Have y'all ever heard of the term cut off your nose just to spite your face? A lot of black people will see that video right there of him standing there with all of them. It was a bunch of black people there. There's only one white person there. But he's standing there with a bunch of black people talking about what he's doing for HBCUs. And you know what happens? I don't care if he's giving millions and millions of dollars to fix up these schools and to give out scholarships for these youth who are about to, who are approaching college ages, or who are just now arriving there, or who are already in school and need some grants and need some scholarships and whatnot. Most black people will look at that and be like, he only doing it just for the photo op. I don't care if they give him money. He only giving money because he want to be voted for. We not believing that. Hey, who gives a damn about why he's doing it? Think about what he's doing, man. Don't cut off your nose to somebody is being blessed by this. Like, families are really going through some things and their children don't have an opportunity to go to school. Even when you get great grades, money is so thin nowadays that a lot of the kids that would have gotten a scholarship back in the day for those grades, they're not getting them like that anymore. They're not. So this extra money does help. You got prestigious HBCUs like Howard University that's falling apart. They got fucking rats all in it, and some of their bathrooms don't work, and the plumbing don't work properly, and the lights don't, and it's getting flooded. Come on, it's so many bad things that's happening in these HBCUs. They need the money. So you're always looking at they only doing it because I was about to say something. Listen, focus on what's being done. Focus on what's being done. Sometimes you need to grow up, man. No, not sometimes. People who are saying things like that need to grow the hell up.
At its absolute best, and I congratulate you all to say that.
Finally, a word or two about President Trump's support for law enforcement. Now, what does that have to do with black and brown people living in the inner city? Well, consider the Ferguson effect. That is what happens when officers are falsely accused of racism, as happened after Ferguson. Cops pulled back and crime went up. And guess who got disproportionately hurt by that crime? Black and brown people.
Well, the Ferguson effect is the twin phenomenon of officers backing off of proactive policing and the resulting increase in crime. Last year, we had the largest one-year increase in homicide in nearly a half century. The vast majority of the victims of that homicide increase have been black. The reason for this crime increase, I believe, is that officers are living today under a false and dangerous narrative that says that they are shot through with systemic racism, that we're living through an epidemic of racially biased police shootings, and that the type of proactive policing that I think is responsible for a 20-year crime decline that this nation has enjoyed is under attack as racially oppressive.
Bottom line, whether you're talking about the First Step Act, the Music Modernization Act, the tremendous economy that's benefiting black people, the fact that Donald Trump is doing something about illegal immigration, the fact that Donald Trump supports school choice, this man has got to be the worst racist ever.
I think white people that like black people, y'all should get some sort of wristband or hand stamp or something. I'm dead serious. Something you can show in a dark alley to keep you from getting robbed. You might not think that's a good idea, but you wish you had a wristband. You leave tonight and you're in that dark alley. Give me your money, white boy. Go ahead. Let her through. She got the wristband. Let her through, Chucky.
Where's Donald Trump's wristband? I'm Larry Elder, and this has been the Larry Elder Show. I'll see you next time.
Now, let me say this, man. Larry Elder did a great job breaking this down because it's important that people like myself, and I mean, you all, if you already know this information, it might not be for you, but to see Well, it is for you. Just to see Larry Elder, I mean, put it out there like that, I think is absolutely remarkable, man. I think it's remarkable, especially if you can go back and fact check what he's saying and be able to say, you know what? I don't see any fault. I don't see any falsehoods with this. I don't see any lies whatsoever. What he said is what it is. You have to get that man his props. You got to. You got to stop being so damn stubborn. That's what you got to do. You got to. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to whoever's misguided and don't really have the information necessary in order to make the type of to publicly put their opinions out there the way that they do, man. They just need some more information. That's it. But per usual, man, I want to hear what you all have to say about this in the comments below. And if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I'm Van, and now we are all the LFR family, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video and hopefully inside of the Patreon as well. You all have been amazing per usual, man. Love y'all.